I was engaged to the sixth prince, who followed the crown prince in a failed coup. Not only was I not implicated, but I also became the crown princess designate. After the new crown prince ascended, he employed ruthless tactics and forcibly became engaged to his former sister-in-law, earning him the title of Tyrant from outsiders. Before Fu Junsai ascended the throne, his white moonlight returned. Everyone was speculating whether I would take the initiative to cancel the engagement, making room for the white moonlight. Although I am a woman, I also wish to learn the virtue of a gentleman in helping others achieve their happiness. But as soon as I stepped into his study, a row of subtitles suddenly appeared before my eyes. He went through so much trouble to forcefully secure this engagement. The uncle-sister-in-law CP I've been rooting for is about to get married. Could it really end in tragedy? Don't be so noble, my bow. He doesn't need you to sacrifice yourself for his happiness. He's crazy about you, just too insecure to admit it. He's already suspicious of your connection with your childhood friend, and he's the type to go completely mad with jealousy. I love seeing men suffer, my bow. Quickly say you want to cancel the engagement. I want to see the usually composed man lose it and go crazy with jealousy. Don't listen to the person above. He's so dark, so crazy, so in love with my bow. Listen to me. It's better to tease a man than to torment him. Go slap him, and he'll probably secretly enjoy it, thinking you touched him. I am puzzled. One recently, a minister proposed to arrange the selection of concubines in advance. It is said that this is to legitimately send Bai Guangyue, Fu Junsai's fiancé, into the palace. The court and the public are abuzz with discussions about this matter, and even the common folk in the streets and alleys are speculating whether I, the fiancé, will be replaced before the wedding. The words of breaking off the engagement were on the tip of my tongue, but the messages from the bullet screen kept flashing in my mind, making it difficult for me to make a decision. He is now the crown prince, and if he truly has feelings for that white moonlight, a slight hint would be enough for my father to agree to annul the engagement, but he did not. Why? He likes the white moonlight, but does he still need to rely on the power of my maternal family and I? Should I step aside and suggest annulling the engagement for their sake? In the study, Fu Junsai must have noticed me standing at the door, neither entering nor speaking. As he raised his head to look at me, the man's eyes sparkled like stars, but his complexion was not good. A hidden anger lurked in his gaze, likely due to the pile of memorials that had displeased him. This, it seems, is not a convenient time for me to come. I hesitated, wondering if I should come back another time when he was in a better mood. Just then, the bullet screen appeared again. Dogman deserves to be single. Why are you glaring at my bow with such a fierce expression, always with a cold face? How can any woman discern the love in your heart? My bow, he's angry. You can easily soothe him with just a few words. I want to see him being coaxed into a silly, worthless embryo. Haha. What kind of woman coaxes a man? Don't do it. You should say you want to cancel the engagement and then act as a matchmaker to introduce him to other well-bred ladies, pouring oil on the fire, and make him furious. Yes, I just love watching the drama unfold. Hihi. 2. I am even more confused. At the time of the arranged marriage, everyone thought Fu Junsai had no choice but to go along with it. My grandfather and father had both served as prime ministers. My eldest brother, who followed a military path, joined the army and, with his martial skills and exceptional strategic mind, rose rapidly through the ranks. In just a few years, he became a powerful general commanding a significant army. The Shun family was the unrivaled noble and influential household in the capital. Since my birth, the late emperor had betrothed me to the sixth prince, the son of his most beloved imperial concubine. The concubine came from humble origins, and the sixth prince had no chance of ascending the throne. However, my father gladly accepted the arrangement, with my father and brothers as my backing. Becoming the principal wife of an idle prince and living a life of wealth and stability was an excellent prospect. Because of the betrothal, I was raised according to the standards of a prince's wife, excelling in music, chess, calligraphy, painting, embroidery, and needlework. My father doted on me, personally teaching me to read and write, while my brother secretly took me horseback riding and playing polo. I grew up in a life of pampered affection, but that year, a series of events unfolded. First, the sixth prince broke off our engagement, and a few months later, the crown prince staged a coup. The idea of an arranged marriage was proposed by Fu Junsai. After discussing with my family, we concluded that he likely needed his brothers to work from within to restore order. The marriage proposal was merely to reassure us. Originally, my family didn't want me to marry into the royal family, so my father and brothers told him that they were willing to help, but there was no need for an arranged marriage. But Fu Junsai was very insistent. My family and I thought he needed a marriage contract to ensure that the Shun family wouldn't back out at the last moment, so we agreed. Later, Fu Junsai had saved the emperor's life and was made the crown prince, and I, his fiancée, became the designated crown princess. 2 years later, the previous emperor passed away. Fu Junsai insisted on marrying me as his queen on the day of his coronation, which was against etiquette, but he was a decisive and ruthless tyrant, and no one in the court dared to question it. I had been puzzled as well. Although we had occasionally met during the 3 years of our engagement, we had never been close. Why was he so determined to make me his queen on the day of his coronation? It wasn't until I heard that the unattainable white moonlight from his youth had returned. There were only 7 days left until the wedding day. Today, I came to see him with the intention of doing a good deed by taking the initiative to call off the engagement, but the bullet comments say, "He loves me." I don't quite dare believe that. At the desk, the man stared at me with deep, intense eyes, waiting for me to speak. "Your Highness, I came today because I heard some rumors." Fu Junsai visibly furrowed his brows, his eyes filled with a murderous aura. It seemed that if I were to say anything treasonous, I would immediately be thrown into prison. Just like the former court officials who had been spreading rumors and were recently imprisoned by him. My father once said that he has always disliked others interfering too much with his decisions or making unwarranted comments. Sister Treasure. You can't say it, you can't say it. If you dare to say even one word about marrying someone else, he will definitely lock you up in a dark room and force his love on you immediately. Abusive love, abusive love. Sister Treasure. Quickly say you want to cancel the wedding. I just want to see him go crazy. Ha ha ha. Any takers? Betting on whether he will go crazy and torture the Shun family, especially her childhood friend Wei Yang, after she calls off the wedding, no matter what rumors you hear. Do not pay attention to them. I have my own considerations. The man's tone was calm, yet it made every hair on my body stand on end, sending chills down my spine and leaving my hands and feet icy cold. Back when he proposed the marriage alliance, my father had considered refusing. He said Fu Junsai was exceptionally intelligent, but his methods were ruthless, and he never forgot a grudge. Hardly a suitable match. My father had always been a good judge of character, but I didn't want to be left in suspense, so I cautiously probed. Your Highness means that I should simply wait for the wedding without worry, right? Fu Junsai nodded. All right. Since he has no intention of changing the bride before the wedding, I might as well not be presumptuous and do something that would only help others. He said he had his own considerations, likely either needing his father and brother to continue assisting him, or having other arrangements for that white moonlight of his. These are not things I should be asking about. 3. When I returned to the Shun residence, Wei Yang was also there, drinking gloomily by the lake with my brother. The Shin and Wei families have been close friends for generations. He and I grew up together, stood side by side when punished by our teacher, and sneaked out to play behind our families' backs. In my heart, he was like a trustworthy older brother from the neighborhood. Just like my own brother, he has also known since childhood that I was to become the future crown princess and has never behaved inappropriately toward me. I wasn't far away and overheard my brother confiding in him after drinking, saying that if I entered the palace, he feared he couldn't protect me, and if I broke off the engagement, he worried no one else would ever marry me. After all, I had already had 2 fiancés. Wei Yang replied, if your sister truly breaks off the engagement and no one in the capital dares to marry her, I can take her back to my hometown in Wei, far away from the gossip in the capital. I am a concubine-born son of the Wei family, and my absence wouldn't matter much at home, as long as you don't mind my background. The Wei family's hometown is near the northern desert. I've heard that the land is vast, the green grass stretches endlessly, and cattle and sheep roam everywhere. creating a very leisurely and free atmosphere. My heart was slightly stirred. As for Wei Yang, he has someone in his heart, but she is about to become his elder brother's wife. And they are destined to have no future together in this lifetime. My brother was heavily intoxicated and could no longer respond to Wei Yang at that moment, so I quickly ordered the servant to take him back to his room. Wei Yang has always had a good tolerance for alcohol, and his face remains unchanged now. His eyes clear. I give him a smile. Brother is just worried about me, but I asked the Crown Prince this afternoon, and he has no intention of replacing me as his fiancé. I guess there's no need for you to help me out of this situation. The bullet screen suddenly erupts. Sis, you're indeed the decisive woman I admire, not dragging things out at all, making it clear to your childhood friend. To be honest, you and Wei Yang are also close friends. Why not throw yourself at the Tyrant and beg for a marriage decree, so that your sister-in-law can remarry him? After all, your sister-in-law secretly likes him too, but she deliberately said she doesn't love him for the sake of the family and pushed him away. I agree with the above. I just love a happy ending. However, the Tyrant doesn't seem like someone easy to negotiate with, and your elder brother and sister-in-law are a perfect match. Wei Yang is just a concubine's son, so this is going to be difficult. Damn, why is Fu Junsai here? If he sees this, he's definitely going to misunderstand, and who knows, he might go crazy and start chopping people up on the spot. My heart skipped a beat, and my thoughts were pulled back from the comments. My gaze shifted to the entrance in the distance. Footsteps sounded, signaling someone approaching. In a few moments, a large hand with thin calluses rested on Wei Yang's shoulder. The man's narrow phoenix eyes narrowed slightly, a cryptic smile playing on his lips. Why is Wei Gongzi here? He thought he was too harsh in the afternoon, so he brought a gift to appease the person he had been longing for, only to find her drinking by the lake with her childhood friend. What a hellish scene, but I love watching it. Hero, I overheard for you. The childhood friend said he's taking your beloved to the grasslands for a horse ride. I stood up, bowed, and asked, "Why has your highness come?" Fu Junsai, however, did not look at me. His eyes were fixed on Wei Yang, and he said coldly, "Mr. Wei, you haven't answered my question yet." Wei Yang was pinned down by his forceful grip on her shoulders, unable to rise to bow or turn to answer him. I was wondering if I should help Wei Yang explain. A bullet comment suddenly caught my eye. "Little sister, you must not say a single word to help Wei Yang. A jealous man will only think you favor him because you like him, which will further fuel his misunderstanding and add fuel to the fire. Is that so? Maybe I should listen to the comments." After listening for so long, I've realized that they've only been watching the spectacle or giving me advice, with no ill intentions towards me at all. I looked at Fu Junsai and invited him. "Your Highness, it's getting late. Why don't we have dinner together?" For Fu Junsai's eyes were filled with unconcealable delight, and he immediately agreed with a smile. "All right, let's go together. It's just a meal. Is there really a need to be this happy at this moment?" I somewhat believed what the bullet comments said. He truly has feelings for me. As soon as this thought surfaced, my ears involuntarily grew warm, and a hint of shyness rose in my heart. I turned my head away, not daring to meet his gaze again. Wei Yang now looked at me with a helpless expression, his rationality instantly overpowering his shyness, and I almost forgot he was still here. Fu Junsai, like an obedient puppet, allowed me to pull him to sit beside Wei Yang. A somewhat silly smile hung on his face. Giving me a bit more confidence, I sat across from him, poured a cup of tea, and handed it to him, softening my voice as I explained, "Mr. Wei is a good friend of my elder brother. He came today to drink with my brother because Mr. Wei has a woman he admires but can never marry in this lifetime. However, my brother's drinking capacity is poor, and he got drunk. I just had the servant take him back to his room, and I am here because my brother sent someone to invite me over before he got drunk, as Mr. Wei wanted to entrust me with delivering a gift to that lady." With this explanation, it should be enough to temporarily allay Fu Junsai's suspicions. Later, when Wei Yang finds an opportunity to send a gift, I will then send it under the pretext of adding to her dowry, and everything should be fine. The man's throat emitted a low, deep sound, as if tinged with a hint of pleasure. "Amham, Seeing that the misunderstanding had been cleared up, Wei Yang tactfully took his leave, and I did not try to stop him after he had walked far away. Fu Junsai suddenly pulled me into his arms with a single motion, and I lost my balance, falling onto his lap. Engaged for 3 years, he had never been so reckless. I instinctively wanted to push him away and stand up, but suddenly realized he was the crown prince and also my fiancé. I didn't dare move. With one arm around my waist, he gently brushed his thumb against the corner of my lips, his eyes seemingly clouded with desire. My mother and the nanny taught me how to serve a king, and in this moment, I understood the slowly rising desire in him. But not now. I struggled to get up and whispered, "We are not yet married. We cannot." The man held me tightly with both hands, adjusting his position so that my legs straddled his lap, forcing me to face him. The scorching heat of his large palm radiated from her waist. "No, what? The barrage of comments flew across the screen. He's so good at this," teasing her on purpose, knowing full well what he's doing. Having a meal together made him forget his questioning. Clearly, Wei Yang has 100 ways to give gifts to the girl he likes, so why did he specifically seek out the female lead? Men are so easy to placate, their IQ instantly drops to negative. Ha ha ha, this is the long-awaited romantic dinner for two he's been waiting for years. With the beauty in his arms right now, how could he possibly spare a thought for any love rivals? Little sis, give him another kiss, then tell him, no naughty thoughts. I want to see him frustrated and frantically taking cold showers again. 5. Shitsue's light cough saved me from my embarrassment. Someone is coming. I quickly stood up from him and straightened my slightly disheveled clothes. The clarity gradually returned to his eyes, and he once again became the cold, ruthless, and unsmiling crown prince. The moment he lost his composure just now seemed like nothing more than an illusion of mine. It was my father and mother who had rushed over. Everyone went to the main hall together for dinner. After the meal, as it was already late, Fu Junsai found it inconvenient to stay any longer. My father specifically instructed me to escort Fu Junsai out of the mansion. Along the way, Fu Junsai slowed his pace to walk side by side with me. He turned to look at me, his cool and distant eyes faintly carrying a hint of a smile. "See you tomorrow." I nodded in agreement, not daring to meet his eyes. "Will you be able to sleep tonight?" "Yes, but," Fu Junsai said, "I'm afraid I won't. I recall my mother's teachings. No monarch can remain devoted to a single person. Having 3 palaces and 6 courtyards is the norm. As I am about to become the empress, jealousy is the most undesirable trait." After a moment of contemplation, I tentatively spoke. "Today, I have disappointed your highness. I heard that a group of beauties has entered the crown prince's residence." Fu Junsai was a man devoted to political affairs, with little interest in women. During his years as the crown prince, many had sent beauties into the palace, but he had never accepted any. Except for this time, he was about to ascend the throne, and many ministers sent their daughters to the palace, ostensibly to serve the Empress Dowager, but in reality, to secure their positions as imperial consorts ahead of others. My mother had compiled a booklet of these noble ladies' family backgrounds and handed it to me, instructing me on who to court and who to guard against. The man paused, his face darkened, the mirth in his eyes instantly replaced by a cloud of gloom. His thin lips pressed tightly together, as if he were about to erupt in anger. I said something wrong. The man took a deep breath, flicked his long sleeve, and was about to leave. Instinctively, I grabbed his sleeve. "Your Highness." The man immediately stopped in his tracks and asked without turning around. "Not finished yet." He was angry while pondering. Bullet comments floated up. "LOL, he's here being all romantic, saying he misses Sister Bao so much he can't sleep at night. Sister Bao thinks he's unsatisfied and wants to send him other women to relieve him. Wow, she, who only wants to be a virtuous queen, and he, whose mind is filled only with her. They're really talking past each other. Sister Bao, hurry and comfort him, or he might not be able to sleep again tonight and end up squatting on your roof." He would become a thief on the beam. Without thinking too much, I decided to follow the advice of the live comments and act coquettishly with him. I gently tugged at the sleeve in my hand and softly called out to him, "Your Highness, please don't provoke the beauties in the Eastern Palace." "All right, The man suddenly turned around, stepped right in front of me, cupped my face with both hands, and before I could react, he leaned down and kissed me, the warm, soft lips pressed against mine, leaving my mind blank, and all I could hear was the thunderous beating of my own heart. Unconsciously, I gripped the sleeve in my hand even tighter. The man gently stroked the hair above my forehead with his large hand, sighed in resignation, and said, "If you don't let go, I won't leave tonight." My cheeks burning, I quickly released his sleeve. 6 in the dead of night. I tossed and turned in bed, devoid of any sleepiness. He was right after all. Tonight, sleep would be elusive. I decided to sit up and watch the live chat. Another bold and highlighted live chat message appeared. "Quick, look. The dogman has instructed his secret guard to investigate why Wei Yang went to the Shen residence. He really is suspicious." Fortunately, Wei Yang was indeed invited by the eldest Shen brother. The brief kiss just now made my heart race. "Oh, Mom, I want to fall in love." Sister treasure, continue to unleash your charm tomorrow and make the tyrant fall at your feet. Please keep the sweetness coming. I love it. Tossing and turning all night. The next day, just after finishing breakfast, Fu Junsai sent someone to invite me. There was horse racing today. With the emperor about to ascend the throne and hold his wedding, officials from various prefectures and envoys from foreign lands had come to the capital to offer congratulations, bringing many strange and unusual items in the rest area of the racecourse. I casually played with a palm-sized bow and arrow made from ox horn. Fu Junsai rode up to me on a white horse. "Yin, do you like this bow and arrow?" I quickly put down the bow and arrow in my hand and stood up to pay my respects. The bullet screen was going crazy, reminding me, "Quickly pick up the bow and arrow. It's the one he personally selected, rhinoceros horn, and carved himself after winning his first battle against the northern tribes. I've been wanting to give this to you for a long time, but I was afraid you'd dislike the carving. This time, taking advantage of the tribute from the foreign lands, I made sure to deliver it to you personally." "Oh, look at you, just finished giving a gift and you couldn't wait to rush over, trying to claim credit. Little sister, hurry up and say you don't like it. I want to see him disappointed." Ha ha ha, me. The barrage of comments really is just like the women at the usual banquets, always eager to stir up drama without caring about the consequences. I took the bow and arrow back into my hands. Although the craftsmanship of this little ornament isn't top-notch, it stands out for its creativity and delicate charm. Fu Junsai's pitch-black eyes sparkled with amusement. "If you like it, take it back. I'll have someone send you another box of rare trinkets later to pass the time." The habit of interacting with him over the years made me want to refuse immediately. "Your Highness, you've gone to great lengths, but if I really refused, he might get angry." I quickly changed my words. "It's just that your servant hasn't prepared anything today. I'll return the favor to your highness next time." The man laughed heartily. "All right, then I'll wait for Enin's gift." A foreign prince suddenly interjected. "Don't you people from the Central Plains like to give sachets as gifts? I find the sachet this young lady is wearing quite exquisite." A nearby minister explained, "A sachet is a token of love given by a woman to her sweetheart, not something to be given lightly." The foreign prince was puzzled. Isn't she getting married to the crown prince in a few days? Could it be that her sweetheart isn't the crown prince, but someone else? A deathly silence enveloped the surroundings. The man's gaze burned into me, his hidden emotions unfathomable. I felt flustered under his intense stare, lightly biting my lower lip as my thoughts raced. Was this foreign prince's remark unintentional, or was there someone pulling strings behind the scenes? Admitting publicly that I harbor feelings for the crown prince is too improper, truly unbecoming of my status as a well-bred lady. Moreover, if his heart is set on that white moonlight, and he publicly rejects me, how would I salvage the situation? Just as I hesitated, clutching the sachet, the man reached out and took it. Naturally, my fiancé's heart is with me. However, women of our dynasty are precious and reserved, unlike the bold daughters of the grasslands who openly declare their affections. Langalei, let's race horses. 7. Fu Junsai went horse racing with a group of people. I sat down again and heard people whispering all around. They said that the crown prince dotes on me greatly, and marrying him is my great fortune. Perhaps it is. The palace gates are deeper than the sea. Fu Junsai cherishes me today, but tomorrow he may dote on another woman. I cannot indulge in love and lose my reason. My brother holds significant military power, and a delicate balance is needed between the Shen family and the royal court, and I, whether to repay the love of my parents and brothers, or for my own circumstances, must play this balancing piece well. Now, I have come to believe what the bullet screen said, that Fu Junsai is fond of me, but who knows if he still harbors lingering feelings for his white moonlight, Liu Xie. I need to find a way to test how much this white moonlight holds in his heart. The prize for the horse race is a blank imperial edict. The winner can make any request to be written into the edict. A few days ago, my brother told me that the Liu family had spent a fortune to hire a horse racing expert from the northern deserts, determined to win the prize. That imperial edict would be her stepping stone to becoming a noble consort. Brother once said, the crown prince set up such a prize, perhaps specially arranged for Miss Liu. At that time, my brother and I discussed not sending anyone to participate in the horse race. I was even willing to give up the position of empress for her. A mere prize was not worth competing for, but now, this is a good opportunity to test the waters. I had my maid pass a message to my brother, asking him to join the Shen family soldiers in the race, to give it his all and try to win the prize. At the command, 12 prized steeds suddenly burst forth, their iron hooves striking the track as densely as scattered stones, stirring up the billowing dust and air on the racetrack. A man clad in black, his face veiled, crouched low, pressing close to the horse's neck, leading the charge. My brother's chestnut horse followed closely behind, each stride brimming with boundless power, gradually catching up to the black-clad man. I couldn't help but stand up and peer over the railing. A black horse suddenly cut across, its rider clinging tightly to the horse's back, with eyes sharp as an eagle and an aura of boldness typical of the warriors from the northern deserts. The black, white, and red horses were neck and neck, racing each other fiercely, making the competition extremely intense. I found myself holding my breath. Besides my brother's red horse, the other two riders must have been hired by the Liu family to assist. The finish line was fast approaching. 3 horses galloped across the turf, kicking up a spray of fine soil behind them, blurring the vision. The outcome was decided. A shrill announcement rang out. The white horse takes the lead. Victory. It was the Liu family who won. Well, it was fate. The bullet screen and the surrounding crowd's chatter erupted simultaneously, making me dizzy and disoriented. Too lazy to listen or watch any further, I turned around with my maidservant, just wanting to hurry back to my brother's tent to find some peace. Behind me came Fu Junsai's laughter. I thought General Shen wouldn't take the field. I originally didn't plan to participate, but I couldn't resist my sister's repeated requests. Your Highness's horsemanship is superb. I am convinced of my defeat. I turned back in surprise to see Fu Junsai standing on the race platform, dressed in black and holding the black blindfold in his hand. He actually concealed his identity to compete, and he won. Lord Liu said sarcastically, Miss Shen wants a prize, but I wonder what she is seeking. If the Liu family cannot obtain the prize, they will have to find other ways to send Miss Liu into the palace, which will likely require a lot of effort. Not wanting to put my brother in a difficult position, I quickly walked toward the competition stage. What do you think I am seeking, Lord Liu? I stood beside my brother and bent my knee to pay my respects to Fu Junsai. Fu Junsai helped me up and asked, do you want this betrothal gift? I answered without hesitation, yes. Then it's yours. Fu Junsai's personal eunuch, Fushan, bowed and handed over the brocade box, which contained the imperial decree that the Liu family had long dreamed of for entering the palace. I was somewhat surprised that Fu Junsai had so easily given me the prize. Originally prepared for the Liu family, was it because he had other plans, or was the power of Miss Liu, his white moonlight, not as great as expected? 8. The banquet began, with glasses clinking, music playing, and dancing in full swing. Fu Junsai seemed quite pleased, drinking every toast offered to him in one gulp, a smile lingering on his face. Unlike his usual aloof and unapproachable demeanor, taking advantage of the moment when no one was paying attention, I quietly slipped away from the banquet and returned to my brother's tent. Wei Yang had also come today, so I instructed Shitsue to discreetly bring him over, avoiding any notice inside the tent. After the maid finished brewing the tea, she quietly withdrew. "Brother Wei, have you prepared the gift you mentioned by the lake yesterday?" Wei Yang took out a brocade box from his robe. "This is a hairpin made of mutton fat jade. You can use it as an accessory for your wedding, which also fulfills the statement we made in front of the Crown Prince yesterday." I took the brocade box and put it away. "Don't worry, I won't say anything extra to Miss Ju." At that moment, the bullet screen comments began to chatter noisily. You should have told Miss Ju that this is a hairpin he personally selected the materials for and carved over 3 months. It was supposed to be the token of love he wanted to give her himself. Neither of them can speak up. As their close friend, you should play the role of a wingman and give them a helping hand. Stop talking, the dogman is here, eavesdropping outside the tent. If you say any more, you'll blow our cover. Isn't he drinking with the soldiers? Why did you come here so quickly? The bullet screen continued to refresh, laughing to death. As soon as the secret guard reported that Wei Yang had arrived, he immediately put down his wine cup and ran over eagerly. "What, are you here to catch someone cheating? If you really catch them, it's the dogman himself who will be heartbroken." "What did she do wrong?" "She just made the mistake that all women in the world make." "I understand now." I dipped my index finger in tea and wrote the words Crown Prince on the table, then shook my head silently at Wei Yang, pointing towards the entrance of the tent. Wei Yang's eyes showed disbelief, as if he couldn't believe that someone like Fu Junsai, a proud son of heaven, would eavesdrop. I spoke clearly. "Brother Wei, my elder brother specifically reminded me that today I can pass on the jade hairpin you sent, but as men and women are different, please don't be so persistent in the future. Let go of Miss Ju." Wei Yang responded politely but distantly. "I understand, and I thank General Shun and Miss Shun for your help. I have caused much disturbance today. I bid you farewell." I called for my brother's personal attendant to escort Wei Yang out. At the same time, the bullet comments refreshed. "Damn, he left, not even going in to meet her. What would he do if he went in? Tell his beloved, I'm here to catch you cheating. Hand over your lover." Laughing to death, the attempt to catch someone cheating ended in failure, and they left happily. 9 For several consecutive days, there was no movement from the Liu family. There was also no news from Fu Junsai. Seeing me burdened with worries every day, my brother tried to comfort me. "In my opinion, His Highness truly cares for you. Since he hasn't mentioned Miss Liu's matter, you should simply act as if you know nothing and prepare for the wedding with peace of mind. Even if the Liu family's daughter truly enters the palace and is granted the title of consort, she will never surpass you as the empress." The courtyard was filled with all kinds of gifts sent by Fu Junsai: jewelry, jade artifacts, precious paintings, calligraphy, silk, and satin, everything one could imagine. I picked up the teacup and took a light sip, but the unease in my heart simply wouldn't ease. From the barrage of comments, I only learned that Fu Junsai had been busy with political affairs these past few days, neither summoning anyone from the Liu family nor meeting Miss Liu. I feel very uneasy, but there's no need to make my brother suffer with me. Brother makes a good point. The wedding is the day after tomorrow, and even if I wanted to call it off, it's too rushed now. It wouldn't be appropriate to bring it up again. At night I couldn't sit still or sleep peacefully, so I simply got up and picked up a book to read. The maid serving me was drowsy, so I sent her to the outer room. After half a day, I hadn't absorbed a single page of the book. The moonlight outside the window was bright and clear, so I got up and walked to the window to admire the moon. A dark shadow suddenly appeared. I was startled and instinctively wanted to call for help. "Come." A large hand covered my mouth. "It's me." It was Fu Junsai. "Your Highness. Why are you here?" "Like you, I can't sleep." "What kind of answer is that? Can't sleep, so why come to me?" I suddenly remembered a comment that once said he had been to my rooftop before. "Is this your first time here, Your Highness?" Fu Junsai smiled. "Does Yin want me to say yes or no?" I rarely see him smile so freely and genuinely during the day. He always seems to wear a solemn mask, his smiles never reaching his eyes. Sometimes he smiles when angry, and other times when sad, making it hard to tell. I changed the subject. "What is troubling Your Highness so much that you can't sleep?" At night, it's been many days since we last met, my heart is tied to the beauty, and I miss her to the point of madness. I never expected him to be so straightforward, and his words made me blush instantly. I lowered my head, not daring to look at him again. I just wonder, does the beauty miss me as well? Oh my God, he's trying to get the little sister to say she misses him. This man is such a dog. Sister, hurry and ask him about the white moonlight. This moment is perfect for unraveling mysteries. With such a beautiful scene, you should be whispering sweet nothings to each other. Why talk about such unpleasant topics? Be careful not to anger the male lead and unleash his dark, crazy side. Then you'll be in trouble. 10. If I ask him about Miss Liu, will he be angry? I pondered the appropriate way to broach the subject. Is this question difficult to answer? The man urged with a smile, though the warmth in his expression had noticeably faded. Never mind, no matter how I ask, if he's going to be upset, he'll be upset anyway. Tonight, it's just him and me. If he insists on pressing the matter, I can always brush it off as a woman's petty jealousy. At the very least, it shouldn't escalate into the Shen family targeting a future imperial consort. I took a deep breath and negotiated with him. Your Highness's question isn't difficult, but before I answer, could you first answer one of mine, a question that will keep you awake tonight? Yes. Seeing my serious expression, Fu Junsai suppressed his smile and said, all right, ask away. Is Miss Liu truly the one you couldn't have in your youth? Did you secretly arrange for her return with the intention of bringing her into the palace? Will she become one of the 4 consorts, or perhaps even the noble consort? 4 years ago, Liu Xie left a letter saying she wanted to see the magnificent landscapes of the country and then departed from the capital. A woman as unconventional, carefree, and independent as her is precisely the kind of wife Fu Junsai has always wanted. Back then, after the marriage alliance was arranged, I once met a close friend at a restaurant, and it happened that Fu Junsai was conversing with someone in the next room. Your Highness, are you truly going to marry Miss Shen? I've heard that Miss Shen was raised from childhood according to the standards of a princess consort, with every word and action exemplifying the grace of a noble lady. Such a rigid, unoriginal woman. Does your Highness truly find her appealing? Among the daughters of noble families, how many are as unconventional as your sister? Before I had even annulled my engagement with the 6th prince, there were rumors that Fu Junsai wanted to form an alliance with the Liu family through marriage. Fu Junsai's words undoubtedly acknowledged his interest in Miss Liu, showing his disinterest in the rigid and unexciting daughters of noble families like myself. The Liu and Shen families have always had differing political views, and it is common knowledge in the capital that the Liu and Shen families are sworn enemies. Yin, are you jealous? Yes, I admitted it decisively. I can't let him think that the Shen family is eliminating dissent. That day at the race, you were clamoring for a prize. Was it because of jealousy? Yes. There were rumors on the streets that the prize was specially set for the Liu family by you. Fu Junsai laughed again, his laughter unrestrained and even audible. Greatly puzzled, did I tell a joke perhaps? He found my childish behavior ridiculous. I glared at him unhappily, and he looked at me, laughing even louder. I frowned, glaring at him angrily, using my eyes to tell him not to laugh anymore. Fu Junsai pinched my puffed-up cheek with a smile, looking even happier. Truly, it infuriates me. I was completely annoyed. I pushed him away abruptly and slammed the window shut with a bang. The barrage of comments flooded the screen. Ha 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 ha, I can't take it anymore. I'm dying of laughter, the way the little sister is acting. All jealous is just too adorable. Forget the male lead, even I want to pinch her cheeks. The dogman probably never dreamed in his wildest dreams that the little sister would get jealous over him. Look at how ridiculously happy he is. Tilda, run. The dogman is breaking in through the window. 11. I had just taken a step when someone tightly embraced me from behind, struggling. The hand around my waist touched my skin through the thin fabric, sending ripples of sensation through me. I'm very ticklish, especially around my waist. I didn't dare move further, afraid that I would burst out laughing from the ticklish feeling. The displeasure in my heart dissipated quite a bit due to this interruption. With reason returning, I shouldn't and couldn't act willfully toward the future emperor, let alone lock him out the window. Yin, don't be angry. I'm not laughing at you, I'm just happy." He turned my body to face him, and the joy in his eyes was impossible to hide. "Happy? You're happy? Seeing me embarrassed?" "No, I'm happy that you're jealous for me, happy that you have me in your heart. For so long, I always thought it was just my one-sided feelings, not daring to tell you all that's in my heart. Now that I know your feelings, I'm very happy, happier than I've ever been in my life." Although I already knew from the bullet comments that he liked me, but hearing it from his own mouth, I couldn't help but feel my heart race, my face burning hot, and I buried my head into his chest. I said in a muffled voice, "A woman as unique as Miss Liu is far more interesting than I am. What does any other woman have to do with me? From beginning to end, I have only ever favored you." Really, years ago, an advisor once suggested forming a marriage alliance with the Liu family, but I refused at the time. Recently, the Liu family deliberately spread rumors that the Liu daughter would become the imperial consort, but it was merely a test. The prize for the horse race was indeed specially set up by me for the Liu family. Whether your brother and I participated that day or not, the Liu family had no chance of winning. Giving them hope only to shatter it publicly was a warning. The Liu family has deep roots and must be dealt with gradually. After speaking, the man kissed my forehead and chuckled softly. "Do you understand now? I was wrong to misunderstand you, Your Highness." The man's gaze grew profound as he asked pointedly, "After wronging me, does Yin only have an apology to offer?" I recall the coquettish tricks taught by the bullet comments one day. I reach out and wrap my arms around the man's neck, slightly lifting my body and kissing his Adam's apple. He swallows, his fingers gently rubbing the soft flesh on my waist, causing a ticklish sensation. "Yin, you're playing with fire." Afraid he would continue tickling me, I decided to go all out. I tiptoed and kissed the corner of his lips, then took the opportunity while he was stunned to break free from his embrace. In a soft voice, I urged, "Your Highness, it's late. You should return to the palace." The man's eyes darkened instantly, unwavering as he gazed at me, his desire undisguised. Seeing this, I quickly ran to the window and coaxed, "Your Highness, the wedding is in 2 days. I'll wait for you to come and marry me." 12. Fu Junsai ascended the throne. It was also on this day that I bid farewell to my parents and brothers, entering the palace as a bride. The wedding night, I sat on the bridal bed, waiting for Fu Junsai to return, clutching the blank imperial edict in my hand. Late into the night, Fu Junsai, reeking of alcohol, lifted the red veil, his clear eyes filled with joy. He was very happy today. Seizing his moment of joy, I presented the imperial edict. "This decree is of no use to me, Your Majesty. I return it for your disposal. A sovereign's word is not to be taken lightly. Write whatever you wish on this edict. There is no need for hesitation." Why? Does it feel like there's more to his words? Is he testing me? I carefully chose my words and replied, "Your Majesty, the Shen family and I are deeply grateful for the imperial favor and have nothing more to ask for." After a pause, I continued cautiously, "Brother once said that the military power in his hands could." That night, didn't Yin say she was jealous? Fu Junsai gently prompted, "Would Yin like to have only you in the harem from now on?" I was shocked. Such disrespectful words had never crossed my mind. I immediately knelt down. "Your Majesty, I absolutely have no such intentions. Expanding the royal lineage with the 3 palaces and 6 courtyards is only natural." Fu Junsai helped me stand up, brushed the wrinkles off my knees, and then led me back to the bed, holding my hand. "I'm asking if you want to. The teachings of my family over the past 18 years have taught me that a woman must not be jealous. Moreover, as the Empress, I must not monopolize favor, and when necessary, I must even advise the Emperor to share his affections equally. As the Empress, I naturally should. I am asking you, not the Empress." I understood what Fu Junsai meant, and I also knew the answer he wanted, but behind me stood the hundreds of people of the Shen clan, as well as the lives and livelihoods of the tens of thousands of soldiers in the Shen family army. I could not, and dared not, let them become stepping stones for my love. With a soft sigh, I replied gently, "Your Majesty, I am a daughter of the Shen family." The daughters of the Shen family do not act recklessly. The loyalty and patriotism of the Shen family are evident to heaven and earth. If he harbors resentment towards me because of this, I have nothing to say. Fu Junsai suddenly took out a prepared imperial edict. Read it first, then answer me. I took the edict puzzledly, opened it, and found it was an edict abolishing the selection of concubines. My hand trembled, and the edict nearly fell to the ground. I quickly gripped it tightly, my voice trembling. Your Majesty, I have never doubted the loyalty of the Shen family. Now answer me, as Shen Yin, do you want this imperial decree? For some reason, tears welled up in my eyes. Not wanting him to see me in such a state, I threw myself into his arms. I want it. Fu Junsai's Adam's apple bobbed, and after a long pause, a low, hoarse laugh escaped his lips. All right, it's yours. The man lowered his head and kissed me, and I responded softly. A pair of large hands fumbled to undo my waistband, pressing me down onto the soft bridal bed that night. As it went on, I could only cry and beg for it to stop, but Yin just said she wanted it. Why is the screen black? Damn it. Is there anything that I, a distinguished VIP member, can't watch? I want to pay to see the Tyrant acting like a little puppy to please the female lead. 13. Being Empress Fu Junsai was much easier than I had imagined. I only needed to give orders regarding matters of the harem, and the palace staff would handle everything accordingly. Occasionally, I would receive visits from the wives of various noble households who had sent their invitations on this day. Among the group of ladies, I noticed the figure of Madame Ju. During our conversation, the topic of Miss Ju's marriage came up, and Madame Ju's smile seemed forced. Quickly diverting the subject with a few words, I had someone investigate and found out that a few days ago, Miss Ju and Wei Yang had a chance encounter at the study. The two did not speak, passing each other by. However, after returning home, Miss Ju lost her appetite and grew noticeably thinner. The Ju family invited many physicians to examine her, but none could help. I sent someone to summon Wei Yang to the palace, wanting to ask if he needed any assistance. Unexpectedly, the guards did not bring Wei Yang into the palace but instead brought Fu Junsai. He feigned anger. I hear that the Empress wishes to summon an external official to the palace. May I ask what the purpose is? Asking knowingly, I patiently explained it once again. I didn't realize the Empress had such a deep affection for Wei Yang, personally arranging his marriage. What are you trying to achieve with such sarcasm? For the lifelong happiness of Wei Yang and Miss Ju, I patiently discussed with him. What does your Majesty need to be willing to help? 14. I was blindfolded and brought to a windowless secret room, surrounded by hard walls, with only a single iron door for entry and exit. The iron door is now locked. Fu Junsai locked the two of us in the secret chamber. I looked around, and the secret chamber was small, containing only a bed under the crimson bed curtain. A golden chain was faintly hidden. The length and style of the golden chain resembled the shackles used to restrain prisoners in the dungeon. Your Majesty, he picked up the pure gold shackles, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. Yin, do you like this surprise? I don't have a fetish for being tied up. This place was built by His Majesty, so I imagine His Majesty must like it. He chuckled softly. All right then. Golden shackles were placed around his ankles. Tonight, I am at Enin's disposal. I didn't want to be here, but seeing his enthusiasm, I couldn't bear to dampen his spirits. Your Majesty, perhaps. I tried to undo his shackles, but he grabbed me in a tight embrace. The world spun, and I was pinned down on the bed. A golden chain lay between us, jingling with a tinkling sound. It was only then that I noticed the chain's end was adorned with several bells, which rang incessantly with any movement. It was quite noisy, but he seemed to enjoy the sound of the bell. The bell rang all night long. I croaked several times to stop, but he couldn't hear me. Only when I was too tired to stay awake did the annoying bell finally stop. Before falling asleep, I vaguely thought to myself that after he goes to court tomorrow, I must have someone remove this bell. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. My elder brother has a sworn enemy. It is the Crown Prince Jiyu Qingyang, who stands above all but one. You go and win him over. My brother pointed forcefully at the portrait of the Crown Prince. His eyes filled with hatred, then turned his intense gaze to me. Use and discard after playing. I was utterly incredulous. Have you had enough of living? That was Jiyu Qingyang. After all, the most narrow-minded person in the entire capital, my elder brother snorted coldly. Once the matter is settled, I'll tie Song Si to your bed. Deal. Song Si is my elder brother's good friend with a cold demeanor. She has a stunning appearance. Her nose, eyes, and mouth are perfectly aligned with my aesthetic preferences. With such beauty before me, I agreed without hesitation to seduce Jiyu Qingyang. I stayed up all night discussing strategies with my close girlfriends. The eldest daughter of the Minister of Rights, Miss Shen, has a piercing gaze. Sleep with him. The family of the Minister of Rights has never adhered to etiquette, I commented sharply. This is the ultimate yin technique. The second daughter of the Minister of War, Miss Lin, spoke softly. To capture a man's heart, first capture his stomach. The family of the Minister of War has never been fond of martial arts. I nodded straightly. Makes sense. The last one is the third princess of the current emperor, Jiyu Qingyang's own sister, Princess Suiyan. Raised the corners of her mouth high, catch his eyeballs. Princess Suiyan is not very old, but her romantic history is exceptionally rich. She leaned on the table with both hands and spoke to us earnestly. The colder a man appears, the more he can't resist a woman who is passionate and fiery. Miss Shen and Miss Lin quickly took out the small notebooks they carried with them and diligently wrote it down. I raised my hand to ask a question. What about a man as unapproachable as Song Si? Princess Suiyan rolled her eyes. Haven't taught that part yet. We came up with 3 plans overnight. We unanimously decided to honor Princess Suiyan as the top priority. After Princess Suiyan returned to the palace, she hosted flower viewing banquets for 7 consecutive days. During the banquets, several noble ladies secretly asked me who the princess was holding the memorial service for. I smiled awkwardly. It might be mine. After I sprained my ankle for the 98th time and fell into Jiyu Qingyang's arms, his expressionless face finally changed. He looked at me with a complicated expression. I shyly lowered my head. Jiyu Qingyang's gaze was deep and intense. Is your cerebellum shrinking? I was so angry that steam seemed to be coming out of both nostrils. Princess Suiyan quickly pushed me onto the performance stage, winking at me repeatedly. Ningning knows that your highness enjoys singing and dancing, so she specially learned the dance of the startled swan for you. Just thinking about my graceful dance moves lifted my spirits considerably. Your highness, watch closely, this is my specialty. The guzheng sounded, and I began to dance gracefully, immersing myself in my art. As the dance ended, birds scattered in all directions, and the audience below the stage was left utterly stunned, especially Jiyu Qingyang. With a charming expression, I asked, "How was my dance, Your Majesty?" Jiyu Qingyang remained silent for a long while before speaking softly. From now on, I dare not gaze upon the fleeting grace. Princess Suiyan, well-read as she was so astonished that her face flushed red. It took her a long time to finally utter a sentence. The clothes are nice. Jiyu Qingyang left the banquet in a hurry before it ended. I heard he went to the temple to seek something to ward off evil spirits and demons. My elder brother held his stomach and laughed by my ear all day. I spoke gloomily. Don't tell Song Si about this. My elder brother wiped the tears from the corner of his eye. Although this move is risky, the chances of success are high. At least Jiyu Qingyang has remembered you. Princess Suiyan also meant the same. The first step has been successful. Proceed with the next plan. After the humiliation from the last time, I specifically spent half a month learning cooking skills from the second Miss Lin. The second Miss Lin is well known in the capital for her gentle nature. After I blew up 3 kitchens in a row, she got so angry that she swung a frying pan and knocked me out. I refused to believe it was impossible. After blowing up 5 kitchens at home, I finally managed to make a sweet and sour osmanthus cake. Princess Suiyan sent a daily report of Jiyu Qingyang's whereabouts. I took a glance, called the servants to prepare the carriage, and excitedly rushed to the Dali temple. I didn't have a name card, so I could only squat beside the stone lion at the entrance. A few of my elder brother's colleagues recognized me and teased me. Ningning, here to wait for Song Si again. I shook my head. I'm not here to see him. A few people glanced behind me and laughed even more heartily. Song Si, what did you do to make Ningning angry? I turned around and saw Song Si standing behind me, a trace of helplessness flickering in his cold eyes. I was so mesmerized by him that I looked like an idiot, unable to stop the corners of my mouth from curling up. Brother Song Si. Just at that moment, a figure in black walked past Song Si with a cold expression, seemingly glaring at me. I hurriedly chased after him, clumsily holding the food box. Your Highness, Your Highness. Jiyu Qingyang quickened his pace, panting. I caught up and shoved the food box into his hands. I made it myself. Your Highness, please try it. The food box opened, and the Osmanthus cake faintly emitted a sour, foul odor. Jiyu Qingyang frowned deeply and silently closed the food box. Why must you pursue and kill me relentlessly? Song Si walked over and said calmly, this is Ning Ning's first time cooking. If Your Highness doesn't want it, why not give it to me? Jiyu Qingyang seemed a bit unhappy. Song Si's expression also turned strange. I am not a stingy person. Good things should be shared with everyone. I took out 2 pieces of Osmanthus cakes and stuffed them into their mouths. They were so moved that tears streamed down their faces. That night, my elder brother returned very late. I heard that Jiyu Qingyang suddenly fell ill, vomiting and having diarrhea. The imperial physician suspected it was due to consuming a poisonous pill from the western regions. Even Song Si was inadvertently affected. I exclaimed in surprise, is it contagious? After implementing 2 plans in a row, Princess Suyen and second Miss Lin conducted a post-action review. No chance. I spread my hands helplessly. How is that possible? Princess Suyen sighed and fell into deep thought. Your brother is not a broad-minded person. Logically speaking, after causing him so much harm, you shouldn't have survived until now. Miss Shen chimed in. He has run out of tricks. Princess Suyen shook her head with a profound expression. Unless he likes you. This statement hit me as hard as the time I discovered my father's secret stash of money and he whispered in my ear that he was going to beat me to death. What should I do? Princess Suyen's voice was low. Since we've come this far, let's go confess to him. I nervously stood up. What if he agrees? Princess Suyen said speechlessly. But don't you just want him to like you and then dump him harshly? A single remark jolts the dreamer awake. I sat back down calmly. How to confess my feelings became a problem again. Miss Shen still insists on her own opinion. Sleep with him. Miss Lin smiled gently. Write a letter. Princess Suyen's eyebrows danced with delight. Public declaration of love. I am a straightforward person. Beating around the bush is not my style, so I chose to avoid it. Princess Suyen was exasperated by my lack of resolve. What are you afraid of? I scratched my face. Afraid of losing face. If it were Song Si, I would definitely go and confess without hesitation. Even if Song Si rejects me and people laugh at me, it's no big deal because I'm not the first person to do this. Everyone will forget soon. But that was Jiyu Qingyang. He would have my entire clan executed. Princess Suyen thought for a moment and decided to adopt Miss Lin's method first. Princess Suyen recited a sentimental poem, and I wrote it down as she spoke. Miss Shen looked at my handwriting and exclaimed in admiration, your handwriting is quite good. I raised my chin. A person can't be all shortcomings, right? Suyen saw my useless state and saw through it at a glance, probably taught by Song Si. When Song Si was a child, something happened in his family, and he stayed at my house for a few months. I thought his handwriting was beautiful, so I traced his copybook. After writing for a long time, I developed excellent handwriting. I cleared my throat twice. How should the letter be delivered to Jiyu Qingyang? Of course, it would show more sincerity if you deliver it in person. I find it quite reasonable. I waited at home for several days in a row and finally saw Jiyu Qingyang leave the palace. Princess Suyen sent a letter saying that Jiyu Qingyang had gone to the poetry gathering hosted by Jiang Xian. The eldest daughter of the Grand Tutor. Jiang Xian is a talented woman in the capital and has always been at odds with me. I immediately wanted to give up, but then I remembered what my elder brother said yesterday. The situation in the court is ever changing, and all the princes are eyeing the crown prince's position like wolves and tigers. In the future, Jiyu Qingyang will have few opportunities to leave the palace. After much hesitation, I still decided to go. At worst, I could secretly ask someone to invite Jiyu Qingyang out. and I would leave as soon as I delivered the letter. The poetry gathering was held at the Grand Tutor's residence. I was stopped at the entrance because I didn't have an invitation. I slipped the servant some money and asked him to deliver the letter to Jiyu Qingyang. After reading it, he would surely come out. The servant took the money, grinning from ear to ear, and brought the person over shortly after. But it wasn't Jiyu Qingyang, it was Jiang Xian. Jiang Xian saw me and practically raised his head to the sky. A dense crowd of people followed behind Jiang Xian. I looked at each one of them, but I just didn't see Jiyu Qingyang. I withdrew my gaze in disappointment and casually brushed it off with a few words. I was just passing by. Please continue with your singing and dancing. Jiang Xian had no intention of letting me leave easily. He immediately had someone block my way, looked me up and down, and sneered contemptuously. I heard you performed a dance for Qingyang at the princess's flower viewing banquet, and your moves were absolutely captivating. Why don't you dance it again here today? If you do, I'll let you leave, although I'm a bit rough around the edges and not always the sharpest tool in the shed. I could still tell that Jiang Xian was insulting me by treating me like a mere entertainer. Several daughters of officials, whose names I could recall, pleaded on my behalf. Qin Ning is on good terms with Princess Suiyan. If this matter reaches the princess's ears, it might not end well. Jiang Xian let out a scornful laugh, pulled an opened envelope from his sleeve, and curled his lips into a cold smirk. What is Princess Suiyan? Qin Ning has angered His Highness the Crown Prince, and no one can spare her. I hurriedly tried to snatch the letter from Jiang Xian's hand. Jiang Xian was prepared and immediately passed the letter to another tall man. The tall man glanced at the letter, burst out laughing, and read the sentimental poem on it word for word in a sickeningly lingering tone. My face was burning hot. My reputation is completely ruined. Jiang Xian crumpled the paper into a ball and threw it at my face. Shameless. Get out of here now. The paper ball hit the ground and rolled down the steps. As I bent down to pick it up, Jiang Xian took me by surprise and pushed me down the stairs. The steps weren't high, only 4 or 5 of them, so I didn't get hurt from the fall, but I did twist my ankle. The pain was so sharp that tears instantly welled up in my eyes. Jiang Xian's words were more piercing than the pain. To be honest with you, Brother Qingyang read your letter and doesn't want to come out to see you. He also asked me to tell you that both the letter and the person are utterly disgusting. I somewhat regretted it. I shouldn't have agreed to my brother just for the sake of good looks. I tried for a long time but couldn't stand up. Jiang Xian brought a group of people to watch me make a fool of myself. I simply lay on the ground and crawled a few steps with both hands. The Qin residence isn't far from here. If I crawl 2 streets, someone is bound to notice me. Before I could crawl even a meter, 2 strong arms lifted me up from the ground. What are you doing, Song? See, I had a fair complexion, and when he got angry, his skin flushed red. I secretly stole a few more glances. Song Si rarely gets this angry. His chest heaved up and down violently. His usually calm eyes were tinged with a layer of fury, making him look as if he wanted to devour someone. Jiang Xian flinched in fear, but after realizing what happened, he grew even angrier. Qin Ning violated wifely virtues first, writing obscene materials to taint His Highness the Crown Prince. I covered Song Si's ears, afraid he might hear even a single word. Jiyu Qingyang stepped out amidst the quarreling, casting a calm but meaningful glance around. Jiang Xian's face stiffened, and her lower lip trembled as she bit down on it. Jiyu Qingyang turned his head to look at me in Song Si's arms, his expression very unpleasant, and he coldly squeezed out a sentence through gritted teeth. Shameless. I was stunned for a moment, feeling as if my heart had been torn open. A moment later, I heard Song Si's voice above my head. This letter was not written by Ningning. Jiyu Qingyang frowned deeply. This letter was personally handed to the servant by Qin Ning. If she didn't write it, did you? Song Si said coldly. It was indeed my work. I was taken aback once again. Since when did Song Si become so skilled at lying without batting an eye? After a moment of silence, someone posed a soul-searching question. You, a grown man, wrote that kind of poem for the Crown Prince? Song Si remained unmoved and instead argued with reason. My calligraphy is not hard to find. If you don't believe me, you can bring it here and compare them one by one. Song Si had always had a good reputation in the capital, aloof and reserved, adhering to propriety and upholding integrity, not one to tell lies. Within half a day, rumors of Song Si's secret crush on the crown prince spread everywhere. Several storybooks on the matter were already published in the study. Song Si sent me home and called for a doctor. The doctor's bone-setting skills were top-notch, almost making me writhe in pain. A torn muscle and broken bone take 100 days to heal. You must rest well, miss. Resting was out of the question. After hearing the news, Princess Suiyan and the others came to my house and spent the entire day scolding Jiang Xian and Jiyu Qingyang without repeating a single curse word. Those rotten scoundrels who owe people asterisk. My elder brother walked to the door of my room, turned pale upon hearing these words, and ran away in fright, covering his backside. After venting their anger, everyone calmed down. Princess Suiyan took a deep breath and looked at me with a complicated expression. Are we still chasing after them? I put down the brush and ink, glanced at the colorful insults scribbled in my notebook, and felt my gloom vanish instantly. We're chasing them. Since my face has already been completely lost, there's no harm in chasing after it. The three exchanged glances, with only one last plan left in their eyes. Miss Shen excitedly raised both hands. Sleep with him, I hesitated. For a moment, is the Minister of Rights really not from a bandit background? Princess Suiyan urged me to rest and recover properly, then hurriedly went to help handle the crime scene. Miss Shen was cracking sunflower seeds with a crack sound when she suddenly asked me, I heard Song Si saved you. I nodded. Yes. Miss Shen clicked her tongue twice in a strange way. Second Miss Lin grabbed a handful of melon seeds from first Miss Shen's palm and started cracking them as well. The Dali Temple and the Jiang residence are not exactly close by. The implication was that Song Si had made a special trip to rescue me. My elder brother and Song Si are on good terms. He must have come to help me out of respect for my brother. I didn't take it to heart right now. My only thought is to win over Jiyu Qingyang. Half a month passed in a row. My foot injury has almost healed. That day, Princess Suiyan came to see me and said everything was ready. My timid courage makes a limited time comeback. Will he kill me? Suiyan thinks I'm overthinking it. If the crown prince isn't willing, even holding a knife to his throat won't work. This matter is probably hopeless. After that day, it was widely known that Jiyu Qingyang hated me. That knife will definitely be held to my neck. Princess Suiyan glanced at my dejected expression, her eyes flickered, and she suddenly leaned in close to me and said, the Jiang family has been convicted. Did you know? I froze for a moment. Jiang Xian's arrogance and domineering behavior, often referring to herself as the future crown princess, relied on Grand Tutor Jiang's pride in his position as the crown prince's teacher. Although it was somewhat overstepping, there was ultimately no fault, and the royal family had turned a blind eye to it all these years. Who would be so bold as to dare convict the Jiang family? When did this happen? It was the day after you got injured. Jiang Si submitted the memorial, and the emperor immediately convicted him of grave disrespect. What a coincidence. Princess Suiyan smiled suggestively. Based on my years of experience navigating the battlefield of love, my royal brother's actions are definitely for you. I shrank my head like a quail. This is not for me at all. I am clearly the one who sticks out like a sore thumb. The sky was growing dark, and Princess Suiyan pulled me out the door. I vaguely sensed something strange. Why are we going out at night? Princess Suiyan's eyes flickered. That place only opens in the evening. Oh, the brothel. I stood beneath the plaque that read Fengyu Tower, my gaze complicated as I watched Princess Suiyan with her arms around two companions. She was clearly a regular here. Princess Suiyan's face flashed with guilt as she pushed me inside. Helping others and enjoying yourself can go hand in hand. The person is in Celestial Room number 1. I've already arranged everything for you. I reluctantly believed Princess Suiyan's words. I carefully closed the door of Celestial Room number 1. A faint, restless moan could be heard from behind the hazy silk curtain. My face flushed, and as I lifted the curtain, I swallowed hard at the tantalizing scene before me. Jiyu Qingyang was completely naked, bound tightly and thrown onto the bed. Princess Suiyan must have drugged him. For Jiyu Qingyang's face was flushed with an alluring blush, his body trembling uncontrollably, his dazed eyes, upon meeting mine, instantly turned fierce and hostile. He looks very uncomfortable with a pounding heart. I removed the cloth gag from his mouth, opened the window, and said to him, You go. Jiu Qingyan's veins bulged on his forehead as he forcefully broke free from the restraints on his hands, rolled off the bed, and looked at me with eyes like a man-eating monster. I take a fearful step back. Jiu Qingyan's eyes are bloodshot as he follows, his wrists rubbed raw by the rope leaving bloodstains as he grips my neck, each word gritted out between his teeth. You're asking for death. His palm is very large. He can hold me with just one hand. With just a little more force, my neck would snap. Terrified out of my wits, I kicked and hit him, biting his hand hard until the taste of blood filled my mouth. Only then did Jiu Qingyang, seemingly unfazed by the pain, let go. I clutched my neck and collapsed weakly. Yu Guangzhong, Jiu Qingyang, moved a little, and I scrambled out of the room. Princess Suiyan was waiting for me downstairs. Seeing that I had finished so quickly, she curiously looked up toward the second floor. So fast, I sobbed and hugged Princess Suiyan, crying uncontrollably. I won't dare anymore. I really won't dare anymore. Woo woo. Princess Suiyan's gaze fell on my blood-stained lips as she said guiltily, I never expected the Crown Prince to be so fierce after being drugged. Next time, I won't use any drugs. Hearing this, I cried even harder. After returning from the brothel, I had a severe convulsion and developed a high fever. I was ill for 5 consecutive days before regaining consciousness. My parents were so overjoyed they burst into tears. My elder brother also expressed relief, saying, The doctor said if you don't wake up soon, you'll be a fool for the rest of your life. I smiled. That's not so bad. In a fool's dream, no one would try to strangle me. Mother held my hand with a heart full of pain. Ning Ning, do you like His Highness the Crown Prince? In my nightmare, the face of Jiu Qingyang chasing after me for my life appeared before my eyes, and I shook my head frantically. I don't like him, not at all. Father sighed, his face full of worry. How much longer do you plan to keep this from us? Your deep affection for His Highness the Crown Prince is known throughout the city. Nonsense, this is nothing but alarmist talk. I cast a pleading glance at my brother. My parents didn't know, but my brother did. But I underestimated the power of rumors. My actions these days had been too earth-shattering, and even my brother couldn't tell how sincere my feelings for Jiu Qingyang were. After a moment of silence, my elder brother handed me an invitation. The palace is preparing to select a crown princess for Jiu Qingyang. Princess Suiyan went to plead with the Empress, and your name is on the candidate list. The Empress will host a flower viewing banquet in 5 days. Whether you go or not is up to you. The golden invitation felt scorching to the touch. I took it and immediately stuffed it under my pillow. He is going to select his consorts. Indeed, after being pestered by me for so long, he must be scared to death. He must be eager to marry early to cut off my hopes and get rid of me. I smiled carelessly. He doesn't like me, and it would be quite awkward if I went. My parents breathed a sigh of relief. It's good that you can think this way. You're already past the age of marriage, and it's time for you to settle down. There are plenty of fine young men in the capital. Your father and I will help you find a few suitable ones, and you can meet them first. I understood what my parents meant. They are afraid I might go and bother Jiu Qingyang again. I didn't want to worry my parents, so I obediently agreed. During my recovery, my parents kept a close watch on me and wouldn't let me go anywhere. Every day, they brought dozens of portraits for me to look at. Have you found any you like? I raised my starry eyes and brought a stack of portraits to my elder brother. These are all the handsome men I carefully selected. My elder brother's face turned dark. I asked you to choose a husband, not to pick out burial objects. Is there any difference? You will be buried with me 100 years from now, of course. Choose the best-looking one. I said it as it is. The most handsome in the capital, besides Jiu Qingyang, is Song Ci. My elder brother poked my head hard. A toad lusting after a swan's flesh. I retorted angrily. Song Ci is not a toad. I only dare to say it with my mouth. When Song Ci actually came to propose with a betrothal gift, I became honest. My parents couldn't stop smiling as they looked at Song Ci. My brother is also very happy. Only I secretly pulled Song Ci aside and asked, How much money do you owe my family? Apart from repaying a debt, I couldn't figure out why Song Ci would want to marry me. Song Si smiled helplessly. He rarely smiles, occasionally. A smile gives a feeling of being bewitched by a succubus. Ning ning, don't you like me anymore? I shook my head from side to side. Who wouldn't like Song Si? The smile at the corner of Song Si's lips deepened, his voice soft yet lingering in my ears for a long time. I also like Ning Ning. My heart was beating wildly, my face was burning hot. All I could think about was that Princess Sueon hadn't taught this part yet. Song Si pinched my flushed cheek. I want to marry Ning Ning and spend my life with her. Is that okay? His fingertips were slightly cool, but the places he touched burned even more intensely. I wish I could kneel and beg him to stop teasing. Yes, 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 I'd even bring my elder brother along as part of the dowry. I didn't dare to look at him, flustered as I blurted out, "I'll ask my mother," and fled with my head in my hands. My mother was 1,000 times in agreement. Without another word, she set the wedding date. My marriage to Song Si stirred up another wave of gossip in the capital. Princess Sueon, along with Miss Shun and Miss Lin II, came to my house and surrounded me without saying a word. Asking for a long time. Princess Sueon looked at me with a complicated expression. "I wondered why you didn't come to the flower viewing banquet yesterday." So it turns out Song Si came to propose marriage. At Princess Sueon's mention, I asked curiously, who did Jiyu Qingyang finally choose? Miss Shun also went to join in the fun yesterday, and her expression was indescribable. "His Highness the Crown Prince didn't choose anyone," Miss Lin II added. "Not only did he not choose, but he waited from dawn until dusk." I clicked my tongue in amazement. Someone actually dared to stand up Jiyu Qingyang. That person is doomed. Miss Shun's eyes sparkled with intensity. "The capital has gone mad. Everyone is betting on whether you'll run away on your wedding day." Miss Lin's face also lit up with excitement. "I bet the Crown Prince will definitely come to snatch the bride." Princess Sueon picked up the red silk dress on the table, sighed, and shook her head. "This move of yours is ruthless. What's more painful than gaining and then losing is almost gaining. I'm afraid this marriage of yours will be difficult to succeed." Princess Sueon's words turned out to be prophetic. Before the wedding night arrived, Jiyu Qingyang came tonight. I still remember that day in the brothel, when Jiyu Qingyang grabbed my neck, looking both guilty and terrified. Jiyu Qingyang's eyes were bloodshot, and his grip on my wrist nearly went out of control. "Why didn't you come to the flower viewing banquet?" The pungent smell of alcohol made my eyes water uncontrollably. "That person who's doomed to die is actually me." I made a bitter face, feeling as if my delicate hand was about to be crushed by Jiyu Qingyang. "You don't even like me. Why should I go?" "Nonsense." Jiyu Qingyang's emotions were running high, and he unconsciously tightened his grip. "You never asked me. How do you know I don't like you? Is there even a need to ask? I've become the laughingstock of the entire capital." Jiyu Qingyang understood the meaning in my eyes, and his tone softened a little. "I like you. Will you come into the palace with me?" "Not good." I refused without hesitation. Jiyu Qingyang widened his eyes in shock. "Being my consort is worse than following Song Si." I also widened my eyes. "Concubine, what a stingy person. After all, I am about to become someone's wife. If he wants to seduce me, he should at least offer the position of the principal wife." I tentatively asked, "Who is your official consort?" Jiyu Qingyang suddenly averted his gaze, his voice low. "Jiang Xian." The surroundings fell into an eerie silence for a few seconds. My gaze toward Jiyu Qingyang shifted slightly. Jiyu Qingyang, knowing he was in the wrong and sensing my resistance, quickly tried to comfort me. "Grand Tutor Jiang has been immensely kind to me, and Jiang Xian is his only daughter." I couldn't refuse. "Although you will enter the Eastern Palace as a secondary consort, you will be the only one I cherish." That is to say, he still has his most cherished principal wife and his most beloved noble concubine. My internal alarm bells were ringing loudly. Princess Sueon taught me that when dealing with such shameless scoundrels, one must not show any mercy. I took a deep breath and turned to look at Jiyu Qingyang again. "Your Highness, I don't like you." Jiyu Qingyang's eyes widened fiercely, but before he could make a sound, his body went limp and he collapsed straight to the ground. The second Miss Lin let out a soft breath as she held the iron pot. I remarked with admiration, as expected of a general's daughter, fierce and brave. Princess Swayan casually tore off a piece of cloth from her garment and tied it around Jiyu Qingyan's head. Miss Shen kicked him twice and effortlessly lifted him onto her shoulder. Good thing Swayan had the foresight, otherwise Ningning would have been in trouble. I was also startled and broke out in a cold sweat. I almost had to go to the Eastern Palace to serve Jiangxian. Princess Swayan let out a soft sigh. I will have someone keep an eye on him. He won't be let out to cause trouble before your wedding. I wonder what method Princess Swayan used for the next few days, until the day of my wedding. Jiyu Qingyang never appeared on the day of the wedding. Princess Swayan brought 2 gifts. One was from her. Another one came from the Eastern Palace. Firecrackers crackled in unison, and drums and gongs resounded through the sky. From the crimson robes emerged a pair of hands with distinct, bony knuckles. I received it with both hands. Song Si held my hand and smiled. The master of ceremonies' voice was high-pitched, festive, and extraordinarily lively. First bow to heaven and earth, under the red bridal veil. I raised the corners of my mouth, feeling a bit conflicted. Miss Shen and Miss Lin are going to lose money. Extra story, Song Si chapter. Qin Mu has gained a younger sister. He cherishes her immensely. I live next door to his house, and we also attend the same school, so our bond is a bit deeper than with others. He took me to meet the sister he always talks about. The baby in the cradle was well behaved and adorable, smiling at everyone, very endearing. Qin Mu raised his face proudly, as if showing off. So, did I lie? My sister is the cutest in the world. I nodded slightly, poked the doll's chubby cheek. The doll giggled. It really is adorable. Qin Mu urged me to go back and throw a tantrum in front of my parents so that I could have a little sister too. I shook my head in refusal. Uncle Qin and Aunt Qin are famously a deeply devoted couple. There is not a single concubine in the household. My father is different. He is known for his philandering ways, even after many years of marriage. It hasn't changed. They wouldn't speak half a word to each other on ordinary days. I always thought they must be an unhappy couple. But after mother passed away, father followed her in death. I knelt alone in front of the mourning hall, staring at the 2 plaques, and suddenly understood something. Father truly loved mother. There were many people who came to pay their respects. The Qin family was the first to arrive. Uncle Qin patted my shoulder and let out a heavy sigh. RCI, come to Uncle's house. That's right, father had many brothers. After father's death, many cousins moved into this house. I am an orphan, and my situation is imaginable. Qin Mu and Qin Ning lit a stick of incense for my parents. Qin Ning has grown quite a bit taller when standing. She is about the same height as I am when kneeling. I occasionally visit the Qin family, so she knows me. Qin Mu crouched down to be at eye level with Qin Ning and raised his voice to speak to her. Ning Ning, quickly take brother A. CI home. There are bad people who want to bully him. Qin Ning took it to heart and, with tears in her eyes, threw herself at me, trying to pull me home. My heart softened. Compared to the current Song family, the Qin family next door seems more like my home. I lived in the Qin family for over half a year. Uncle Qin specially set aside a study for me to use. The study is not far from the rear residence. Qin Ning comes to see me every day. She is very well behaved, neither crying nor making a fuss. She just quietly lies on the desk, watching me practice calligraphy, occasionally smiling at me and complimenting my handwriting. Qin Mu, standing nearby, had a dark expression on his face. What's so good about it? It looks like chicken scratches. Even though she was the one criticizing me, she seemed angrier than anyone else. Your handwriting is the one that's terrible. Dad said your writing looks like ghost scribbles and even joked about pasting it on the door to ward off evil spirits during New Year. Qin Mu was so furious he kept pacing around in circles. He has always doted on his younger sister, unable to bring himself to scold or hit her, so he could only glare at me with dissatisfaction. Bring out all your calligraphy practice sheets. It seems I have to show you what I'm capable of. Qin Mu has a habit of working by fits and starts. He gave up after just 2 days of practice. On the contrary, Qin Ning was exceptionally diligent in copying my calligraphy models. After practicing for a long time, her brushstrokes began to resemble mine. When I pointed it out, she would hold the copybook and look at me with pleasant surprise. Really? I nodded slightly, a faint smile curling at the corners of my mouth. Ning is amazing, Qin Ning said with a blushing smile. Brother Aki is amazing too. I have to admit I'm a bit jealous of Qin Mu, jealous that he has such an adorable sister. So on the day I passed the imperial examination and left the Qin family, I kept hesitating about whether I should sneak Qin Ning away. In the end, my conscience overcame my selfish desires. I did not do this. I bought a house on a street not far from the Qin family. I chose it because of the quiet surroundings, which would allow me to focus on preparing for the imperial examination. However, such tranquility ended up distracting me instead. I always think of my sister who used to practice calligraphy leaning over my desk. Although we are apart, our hearts remain close. I still maintain a close relationship with the Qin family. As Qin Ning grew up, she didn't become distant from me because of the differences between men and women. Wherever I go, she goes. When I came first in the imperial examination, she was even happier than I was. She dragged Qin Mu, who came second, to the top scholar temple to release 1,000 lanterns in my honor to fulfill a vow. Qin Mu was quite jealous. How come I feel like my sister treats you differently than she treats me? I chuckled softly. Though I appeared calm on the surface, I couldn't help but feel secretly pleased inside. Later, I was appointed to an official position. I rose from a minor 7th rank official all the way to the position of chief minister of the Dali Temple. Qin Ning still liked to follow behind me. Over time, all my colleagues got to know Qin Ning. From time to time, when I was too busy and neglected her, they would bring Qin Ning into the government office and tease me, saying, "Magistrate Song, your child bride is here to see you again." At first, I was panicked. I was afraid Qin Ning would feel disgusted, that she would distance herself from me because of this, but when she heard it, she just laughed it off, as if it were no big deal to her, not even as important as deciding how many lotus seed pastries to eat today. I am both amused and helpless. When will this silly girl ever wise up? My worries were quickly dispelled. Qin Ning hasn't come to see me for quite some time. Actually, it's only been 3 days, but it feels like a very long time to me. I asked Qin Mu and found out that Qin Ning is learning to dance at home. I frowned deeply. When did Ning Ning become interested in singing and dancing? Qin Mu rubbed the goosebumps on his arm. It's precisely because she's not interested that it's a bad sign. I advise you not to go, lest you have nightmares at night, with urgent matters at the Dali Temple. I stayed at the official residence for several days, quietly making a mental note of this matter. On the day everything was finally settled, I finally found out what Qin Ning had been up to lately. She had fallen for Jiyu Qingyang. I was consumed with jealousy. I kept asking myself, why him? I couldn't get the answer, so I started looking for it from Jiyu Qingyang. Jealousy makes people lose their minds. Unfortunately, I didn't find it. Not only did I not find it, but the more I looked at him, the more displeased I became. For the few days Jiyu Qingyang has been at the Dali Temple, I have been at odds with him. Half a month passed. Qin Ning finally arrived. However, she came to see Jiyu Qingyang. She never cooks, but she made a plate of osmanthus cakes for Jiyu Qingyang. She pitifully tried to please Jiyu Qingyang, but he paid her no attention. I almost lost control. Qin Ning thought we were fighting over the osmanthus cakes and gave each of us a piece. In the middle of the night, when I was writhing in pain from food poisoning, I suddenly remembered something. Jiyu Qingyang doesn't like sweets. This is well known to everyone. She had no idea. At the moment before the pain knocked me unconscious, I felt a sense of relief. She might not like Jiyu Qingyang very much. Not long after recovering from the illness, before I had a chance to ask Qin Mu what exactly happened, Qin Ning got into trouble. She was publicly humiliated by the daughter of Grand Tutor Jiang. I rushed over immediately after receiving the message. I always thought of myself as someone who could control my emotions with ease, but that day, I lost control and flew into a rage. That night, when I returned home, I wrote a memorial impeaching Grand Tutor Jiang, accusing him in court of failing to properly educate his daughter and bringing disgrace to the royal family. Qin Mu knew why I had come and, along with several officials, stepped forward to enumerate the countless transgressions of Grand Tutor Jiang over the years, so numerous that they could not be fully recorded even on bamboo slips. Jiyu Qingyang and Grand Tutor Jiang were allies, sharing the same fate. Under immense pressure, Jiyu Qingyang had no choice but to sacrifice the pawn to save the king, pleading With the emperor to demote Grand Tutor Jiang, this matter was far from over. I took the blame for writing that love poem. On the surface, no one dared to gossip, but deep down, everyone knew the truth. I smoothed out the crumpled paper on the desk. Every stroke of the writing felt familiar. That's what I taught her. I silently recited the words on the paper. It really is a sentimental poem, so sentimental that my heart aches and I can't catch my breath. She likes Jiyu Qingyang so much, perhaps I shouldn't keep deluding myself. Some more time passed. I couldn't convince myself. Qin Ning fell ill. I visited her many times during her illness. Each time I went, she was lying quietly in bed with a furrowed brow. Her face was so pale it seemed she might vanish the next second. My heart ached with pain, afraid that each glance might be the last. Qin Mu blamed himself deeply, as if he had nowhere else to confide. He told me the whole truth about Qin Ning's recent unusual behavior right by her bedside. I didn't know how to react. She did all these foolish things for my sake. Qin Mu thought of the doctor's words and unreasonably pinned the blame on me. If Ningning gets a fever and becomes stupid, you have to take responsibility for her. It's all because you're a handsome troublemaker. I would be more than happy to take responsibility for Ningning. Luckily, Ningning woke up. Qin Mu went to great lengths, finding many portraits for her to consider. I lowered my gaze and asked him thoughtfully, "Does that mean, if I'm not foolish, you won't take responsibility?" Qin Mu spat out a mouthful of water in surprise, staring at me in astonishment. "Are you serious?" I hummed softly and handed him the gift list I had prepared long ago. Qin Mu quickly scanned it and cursed me under his breath for my audacity. "How long have you been preparing these things? Have you had your eyes on Ningning since the day you stepped into my house?" I didn't answer, but asked if there was anything else missing for the betrothal. "Gifts?" Qin Mu snorted strangely. "You've almost given all your possessions. What else could be missing? Change your clothes and come with me to propose." The proposal process went very smoothly. Uncle Qin and Aunt Qin are very satisfied with me. It's just that Ning was a bit surprised. Her face turned red, as if she couldn't believe that I liked her. Fortunately, we have plenty of time ahead of us. We will spend the rest of our lives proving how much we love each other. After hearing the two stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.